Not many are going to admit it. Not many people are going to agree with it because they are too delusional. And not many people are going to say it, and that's okay. But I will. It's finally time to give the greatest Jujutsu sorcerer his flowers. After a 14-chapter-long battle in the manga between the two strongest sorcerers in history, real man Sukuna, the king of curses, defeats Gojo Satoru and remains the undisputed champion. And this is to the surprise of some people in the fandom, but not me. Apart from the fact that it was destined to be this way from a narrative standpoint. Sukuna being a greater and more powerful Jujutsu sorcerer than Gojo is something I believe dates all the way back in the series. Cause you see, even though Gege hyped up Sukuna and Gojo to be way above everybody else, across the series they were both equally portrayed to be the pinnacle of power in Jujutsu sorcery and implied to be relative and equal in many settings. Gege still dropped hints every now and then that put Sukuna above Gojo in terms of reverence, and here's some examples, like back in Shibuya arc when Jogo faces 15-finger Sukuna. Even though he had previously gone against Gojo and seen the sheer gap in their power, there was still a different type of fear he felt when he faced Sukuna, as if he had never seen or fought anyone of that caliber before. Of course, in context, it was stated to be Sukuna's evil, but I think altogether it still adds to the subtle connecting pieces that Sukuna was one way or another seen as a bigger threat. And then when you look at how characters in the lore actually talk about Sukuna, I think it's very important to consider these things because the devil is in the details. When they speak of Gojo, they speak of power and superiority, which is fine. But when other Jujutsu sorcerers speak of Sukuna, it's usually followed up with an eulogy of his complete dominance above everything and everyone. Stated to be an overwhelming calamity with complete disregard for anything or anyone whatsoever. So everything just connects as far as I'm concerned. And one of the major hidden details people also missed out on, either they missed out on it or they just overlooked it. This was Kenjaku's confidence in Sukuna's power. People need to understand what Kenjaku stands for in the story. Kenjaku represents the knowledge of Jujutsu history. This dude has been around for a long time and he's seen and done damn near everything there is. So when he banks on Sukuna to be a trump card against Gojo, then you better believe it. And even amongst all of this, people forgot about Kashimo as well. Only reason why this dude even agreed to join the curling games is to fight Sukuna, who Kenjaku said is the strongest sorcerer around. And even after witnessing the full power of Gojo Satoru unfold before his very eyes, he never once doubted Kenjaku's claim that Sukuna is the strongest. In fact, the whole time he was just waiting for Gojo to get packed up so he could get next. That's all it was. You see how they were immediately jumped in after Gojo got packed up. So, the way I see it, throughout the lore, Sukuna was always portrayed a step ahead of Gojo in terms of power, even if sometimes hidden and subtle. It was still there, and evidently in his battle against Gojo, he legitimately just solidified and cemented his superiority, and this is how he did it. In terms of speed and cursed energy manipulation, I feel like this is where Gojo really equals Sukuna the most because as we see in their fights, they were able to equally keep up and react to each other's attacks, though Gojo was able to land more attacks on Sukuna overall, and while it's clear that Sukuna was holding back, I don't think he would have been like an entire blitz faster than Gojo even if he wasn't. And when it came to manipulating cursed energy efficiently, Sukuna was literally matching Gojo's 6 sides without actually having them himself, which is completely insane. And not only does he actually have more cursed energy than Gojo, but he was able to utilize his reserves to the point where he felt like it was endless and he was expending zero just like Gojo. Although considering what Sukuna ended up achieving at the end to defeat Gojo, he more or less has Gojo beat here as well. But now see, when it comes to pure skill and mastery of Jujutsu art, battle IQ and understanding of cursed energy and abilities as well as his sheer durability, listen, Sukuna just blows Gojo out of the water. At the beginning of the fight, this man tanked a 200% hollow purple. This attack literally disintegrates matter into complete nothingness and Sukuna blocked it and minimized the damage to just his hands. And I'm still not sure how he was able to do this. I think maybe it's a binding vow, or maybe he did it with just raw power, or he used cursed energy to block another cursed energy. I don't know, but he just did it. He then tanked Gojo's curse technique reversal red multiple times. Like Gojo shot red at this guy multiple times and he just ate every single attack. And even after getting tossed around by Gojo's curse technique lapse, which is blue, he still held frame like he was nothing. And one thing we should also know is that every punch Gojo was throwing at this guy was amped by his blue curse technique. And Sukuna just ate every single thing or blocked them. It's crazy. He also tanked Unlimited Void, took the brunt of the last doming attack that hit him and healed from the damage almost immediately. After this, he is able to tank a blue curse technique enhanced black flash, and it only stunned him for like a few seconds. It wasn't even enough to stop his mental usage because he was still able to manipulate cursed energy to summon Mahoraga. Insane. And then finally, he tanks a high output hollow purple blast from a black flash armed Gojo. And keep in mind, Sukuna landed less attacks on Gojo, but Gojo used everything on this guy. He deadass emptied the whole clip, pulled out his entire bag. It just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. Like, the sheer durability of Sukuna is actually ridiculous. He literally ate every single attack and kept coming right back, bro. And by far the most impressive aspect of his battle prowess in this entire fight was his skill and reactive evolution in Jujutsu. He clearly demonstrated to Gojo that he had the better understanding and mastery of Jujutsu sorcery, and all of that coupled with his ridiculous battle intelligence. He just stayed one step ahead of Gojo all through the fight. The whole time, Sukuna was playing chess while Gojo was playing checkers. That's what it was. Every single time he felt like Gojo was going to win, Sukuna just reminded him that, bruh, this shit is just getting started. Even while under the effects of Unlimited Void, he was still able to summon Mahoraga. And his battle instincts and judgment is unrivaled. Knowing the perfect time to use the 10 Shadows technique, summoning the Shikigamis and utilizing their abilities in the perfect way, it was just too impressive. And even when you consider his power, that part is pretty clear on how superior he is to Gojo, because even though he landed less attacks on Gojo, his curse techniques were potent enough to take him out in a few hits. And that stunt he pulled at the end is just some Hall of Fame shit, dog. What Sukuna basically did was, he used Mahoraga as a test sample on how to bypass Gojo's infinity. See how insane this dude is? He studied Mahoraga's adaptation ability and pretty much incorporated how it works and applied the same thing to his own curse technique to bypass infinity. And in order to achieve this, he had to learn how to change the essence of his cursed energy to cut through Gojo's limitless. And this was mid-fight. Like, that level of skill and mastery over Jujutsu is actually scary. I think I'll call it reactive evolution. It's the same way he was able to instantly replicate Gojo's ability to use reverse curse technique to replenish cursed energy, or how he was able to turn himself into a cursed object after seeing Kenjaku do it only once. This dude is a madman. And it's even crazier when you realize that he didn't win this fight with all of his might. He still didn't get to go all out yet. Crazy. Now, the final and most important thing I would like to point out about what puts Sukuna a step above Gojo is the fundamental difference in their character and mentality, because I feel like this made all the difference. Gojo was born the strongest. With a natural advantage of the 6 eyes and limitless curse techniques, he was already equipped by default. So the rest was to fully tap into his potential, and when he did that against Toji, he became the strongest. But one thing he didn't have, which Sukuna did, is the complete disregard for everything and everyone in order to tear the limitations of Jujutsu, because as opposed to Gojo, Sukuna was not bound by morality or physical and emotional connections. So all relevance, all meaning and all reasoning on everything he did was for himself. And his unending desire for the unreachable heights of Jujutsu in every possible capacity he can. This creates an evolutionary gap between him and Gojo. And that battle they had is all the proof. So Sukuna is just a different breed, man. It's the power, it's the skill, it's the brain, it's the resourcefulness, it's the judgment, it's the mentality. He's just cut from a different fate, bro. King of curses for a reason. I don't know, man. Yuji needs to come through with his awakening to take this guy down, because if y'all don't know, Sukuna just got even better at Jujutsu. Because after studying and incorporating the workings of Mahoraga's adaptation to his power and essentially altering his cursed energy, now his cursed technique can actually target and cut right through the fabric of space. So it's an even more different type of juice with this guy now. Like, it's insane. Incredible, man. Incredible. Sukuna really outdid himself. Greatest sorcerer in history, for real. But yeah, man, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Gege did a madness with this guy's character. I won't even lie. It's crazy. This dude is just something else. And Gojo is something else. But then look at what Sukuna turned him into. It's crazy. But that's it for the video. I've made so many videos on Sukuna, and this is probably my last one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll probably just be making more videos on each chapter of the manga that drops, because, you know, Kashimo just pulled up on Sukuna. I'll probably make a video on this one as well, just a short video. And yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.
知れ者が